Hey, hi there. Welcome back to PyMLFinance. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the most important and most used data structures in Python, that is list. Whether you are a beginner or already an intermediate learner, so this video will give you a complete understanding of lists that most tutorials completely skip. Alright, so let's start with the video now. Alright, so a list in Python is a collection where you can store multiple values in a single variable. So it is a collection where you store multiple values in a single variable, right? Single variable. So you simply create a list, my list, and you can store multiple values over here. That is comma separated multiple values. Alright, so lists are ordered, meaning elements have a defined position. So whatever you insert in the first position is always going to be in the first position only, unless you make certain changes in it. Okay, the second item will always be in second position and so on. So list is an ordered collection. Okay, lists are mutable, so you can change, add or delete elements. Okay, change, add or delete elements from here. Now if you want to have a deeper understanding of what exactly mutable mean, the link to the video is given in the description. Okay, please watch that out first and then continue with this video. All right, and lists also allows duplicate values. So in a list you can store same elements multiple times. Okay, so it allows duplicate values so that same value can appear more than once. If you want the same value to appear more than one time, so you can do that using list. It is indexable, so you can individually, you can fetch elements of the list individually using their position. So if you have created this list, let's say L, and you want to fetch the item at first position, so you simply use indexing as L, the list L, and then square bracket. Inside this you provide the position of that item, and the position of first element in Python list is always 0. Indexing in Python starts from 0, 1, 2 and so on. So if you want to fetch first element, you will have to use 0 index. If you want to fetch second element, you have to use 1 as index position. Alright, so creating lists, you can simply create it using square brackets as shown here. You want to create list, you can simply create using square brackets here. Alright, now indexing list, so as discussed in the previous slide, so you can fetch any item of the elements using their index position. So index positions in list starts from 0 and continues till n, whatever item is available. So here you can see we have 6 items in the list. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. Last item, so when you say 6 items, okay, you can fetch the item still using position number 5. This is 6th item of the list, of the given list. So you can see here numbers 0, you fetch 1, numbers 1 then fetch 2, and then using index position 2 you fetch third item. Okay, so actually this should have been 10, 20 and 30 actually for the given list. Okay, so one interesting thing about Python list is Python also allows indexing from the end using negative numbers. So in the list you can fetch positions from last and you can use negative indexing in that. So for example, you can see here for this list item, okay, if you want to fetch last element, that is 60 from the list, you can use index -1 numbers and then index -1, you get the last element. Similarly, second last element -2 gives you second last element. And if you want to get the first element, okay, so you use negative value of the total length of the element, that is 6. So it gives you 10 returned here, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So if you start from negative side, that is right side of the list, you go till minus of what is the length of the total items in the list, that is 6 in this case. So slicing in list is one of the important concept, I would say here. Okay, so you can fetch some portion of list, continuous portion of list, using slicing. So indexing helps you get a single value from the list, but slicing helps you a new list, that is some portion or some elements of the list, continuous elements, are available within the list. So for example, let's say you have a list, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 within the list. So using indexing, you want to second item, that is third item of the list, but at index 2 you get 30. But if you want to get continuous items starting from first index position until fourth, but fourth is always excluded, so it will fetch till here only, till index position third only. So you get here 20, 30 and 40. So fourth item, this last number, last value is always excluded. Okay, so 4 will, item at index fourth position will not be considered here, only till index position third will be considered here. Now let's say you try to access some elements from the list, that is, I mean, that particular index does not exist in the list. Okay, so for example, you can see here there are items till index position 5, and if you try to fetch sixth at index position 6, you get index error. So when index is not available, you get index error, that is index is out of range here in this case. All right. As discussed earlier in earlier videos and in the first slide of this video, right, so you can modify elements of list using index. Okay, I mean, you can modify list, so you can also modify you want, if you want to change value at any position, you can do that using index. Okay, so here you can see we have this list, and if you want to change the first position, that is instead of 20 you want to have 200, so you can simply change that value in this way, numbers index position, and then what is the value you want to give equal to, and that value. So now if you check the list, you have changed value at index 1, right? Now we have 200, earlier it was 20. Now let's say if you want to get what is the total number of items in the list, you can simply use length function. Okay, len function of Python, to get the total number of item in the list. Okay, last index is always equal to total number of elements in list minus 1. So last index of the list is given as total items in the list, that is length of whatever list is given minus 1. This will always be your last index of the list. Okay, so you can use len function on the given list object, and you get the number of items in the list. All right, so you can see here we have calculated the last index, which is length of list minus 1, and if you print the, I mean, if you try to fetch the last index, okay, you get 60 here. All right, the value of last index in the list is 60. All right, so that's all for this video. Thank you and happy learning.